Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Happy Saturday, college football Saturday, of course. Uh, First things first, my name is Corey Pujols. I am your host for Palm Tree Sports, brought to you by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And guys, we got another big day in college football. A lot of good games going on, and of course, we're going to go ahead and cover everything that's going on in Florida today. So why don't we go ahead and get started with the game that's currently on right now, which is that Gator game. And guys, as you may know already, of course, I bleed blue and orange, so I'm very excited to report that the Gators are up 24-3, I believe, or 24-6. My apologies. Over South Carolina Gamecocks. They are 6-3, so they're already ball eligible. We're trying to get that sixth win today and become ball eligible here inside the SEC, and also move up a little slot or so. Obviously, there have been some upsets throughout the league, and there have been some very close games. Vanderbilt upset Kentucky, so that was a big one that I saw. Regular run of the mill for your normal teams, of course. But again, we're going to cover everything in Florida. Just want to touch on that real quick. Navy also gave Notre Dame a fight in that second half as well for anybody who was watching that one as well. Close game down in LSU as well, but they went ahead and clinched the West. So that means it's going to be Georgia versus LSU in the SEC ball game, and winner obviously has the inside track on the national championship, of course. So, meanwhile, back at Florida here, Anthony Richardson is looking absolutely fabulous. Okay, guys, I just can't stress this enough. Obviously, we were big critics of him at the beginning of the game, especially considering how talented he was with just pure ability. Not necessarily having the foresight and the memory of the playbook as down packed as he would want it, obviously having a new coach in Billy Napier. And so, there's a lot of exciting factors there, a lot of exciting things going on with Anthony, but, he's playing a great game so far. He's got a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown, and then obviously Trevor Etienne had an 85-yard bomb, or not bomb, I would say, but bomb of a run, if you will. It was absolutely fabulous. He just, he held on towards the end there and was able to get inside the chalk. So, that's always a beautiful thing. You love to see that from a true freshman. Love to see that in general from the running backs, and of course Johnson running strong as well. So, great things there being reported. Defense looks immaculate. They are just all over the offense, all over the ball, and the ball carriers. I have 4 sacks, is it, in the first half? I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. So tremendous what we're seeing, even in the absence of Brenton Cox, of course, with his departure and everything. Of course, defense hasn't necessarily needed to create turnovers, but they are performing very well again, especially off the edge. So that's going to lead us into next week. Now, we play Vanderbilt, and that's why I mentioned Vanderbilt upsetting Kentucky earlier today, because that's big. That's a huge confidence booster for a team like that, right? That was their first SEC win in an eon, it seems like. I think it was a 24-game SEC losing streak. So they got to feel pretty good. And then they knocked off Kentucky, so it's not like they knocked off like Missouri or, one of the teams that aren't necessarily performing well here in the East right now. That's a quality win against a team like Kentucky. So good job for them. Congratulations to them. But unfortunately, we're going to have to put them to sleep next week when we play them. So, that's neither here nor there. Of course, like I said, all good things to report so far. The only score by South Carolina was on a fake punt. So, and these things happen. So we were able to close out the half. Like I said, 24-3. The third quarter should be going on right now. I don't have it on at the moment, but if you guys do see it, put it in the chat. Let me know what's going on. So great job, Gators. Keep it up in the second half. Let's go ahead and move on to the Noles. I see here that we're playing Syracuse, that they're playing Syracuse today. So both these teams are 6-3, and that means hopefully it's going to be a good game. But we saw what happened between teams with similar records last week when you guys played Miami, and unfortunately that game was a bit of a no contest after a while. So, good job, Noles, on that win. Obviously, shutting out Miami at 45-3, absolutely stomped them. Good job. Keep playing that way. Obviously, things will continue to look up for your ball program. As far as football is concerned, obviously. So very happy to see you guys performing well. But, again, you got Syracuse, same record, all right? I believe after that, you guys have Oh, I lost it. I'm sorry, but you got the following game after that is the Gator game, so that'll be the rivalry week, of course. Can't wait for that. That's going to be great. Obviously, I'll be rooting for the Gators, but Knowles, it would be phenomenal to see you guys, in peak form because that's what we want, right? Nothing but the best competition. So with that being said, good job, good luck tonight against Syracuse. I think you guys got it. You guys should be able to take care of that game. Syracuse by no means is playing any good football whatsoever. They've lost 3 in a row. So you guys should be able to take care of business in that department. So good job, good work, keep it up. We'll see you in a couple of weeks, Knowles. Canes. All right, Canes, as I just alluded to, you guys got swamped by Florida State. That was not a pretty game. All right, guys, not a pretty game at all. You guys need help in a major way, and it starts at the top. So I'm always going to be the first person to say that, in order for a team to be successful, the leader has to be successful. If a leader can't be successful, how can he tell other people how to be successful? So with that being said, guys, got to start at the top. There's got to be better decision making, better play calling, and even if you have the talent around you, you still have to utilize your talent properly. See, I'm going to give you an example. Back in World War II, the supreme Allied commander was Dwight D. Eisenhower. And one of the chief reasons among them was they said he was a handler of men. Well, what does that mean? That means he knew how to distinguish everybody's abilities and then apply them to the necessary tactics in order for the Allied forces to win. And then, as you guys know, we did. The Allied forces prevailed, which, was a phenomenal thing. So I say that because as a leader, that's what you have to be, especially when you have this pool of talent. This isn't like the NFL where you only have 53 players, okay, and in a practice squad. You guys have who knows how many players on some teams, okay? Depth chart is ridiculous. So the point being, you have to be able to distinguish your talent. You have to be able to apply it tactfully. Okay, you always got to be playing chess and not checkers. And unfortunately, Miami, you guys have been caught with your pants down. You've been playing checkers. It's not going to win you any games. And unfortunately, Florida State exposed you guys. Now, you guys got Georgia Tech. Okay, both 4-5 teams, both struggling, both looking for a pulse. All right, go get a win. Come on, guys. Go mess up the Golden Jackets. Is that what Georgia Tech is? The Golden Jackets? Or something like that. Guys, Yellow Jackets, whatever. Go handle business there. Okay, go win that game and get to 500. And then go from there. All right, guys, you can still get bowl eligible. That should be the main goal here. All right. After that, you got Clemson. All the more reason to win the game tonight. All right. Clemson by no means necessarily will be an easy team to deal with, especially after they've lost. They lost last week, and you know what that means? That means Dabo Swinney is going to be in those boys. That means he's going to be pressing them. He's going to be applying pressure and making sure that they're covering all of their jobs. He's a very disciplined coach, and that's how he's been able to win national championships in the past. So, guys, you guys are going to have to button down the hatches. You're going to have to call better plays. You're going to have to apply your personnel better in order to acquire what you need to do. A good example would be the University of Florida. Things started horribly at the beginning of the season. However, we were able to, it started immaculate. Then within the second game, obviously, things started to go downhill, and we were looking for our identity, and we started to find it by making sure we had our key players in our key places and making sure that people didn't want to be there weren't there, and that's the thing. It's a team game. All right, guys. So Miami, good luck to you guys, especially next week against Clemson. You guys are going to need it. Let's go ahead and get on to our first break of the evening, and when we get back, we'll go ahead and talk some NFL action. We'll go ahead and get into what's going on tomorrow. The Bucs are playing in Munich, that's Germany, so against the 6-3 Seahawks. So again, we'll get into that in a moment. Let's go ahead and take a break. Again, I am your host, Corey Poole, host for Palm Tree Sports, brought to you by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Sit tight with me.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
All right, and we are back to Palm Tree Sports, brought to you by Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get right into this NFL stuff, right? Because we got a couple of things to cover as far as that is concerned. Obviously, the Bucs are traveling across seas for the first time, I believe, in our history. It's a beautiful thing going to Germany. Germany's a beautiful place. I can't wait to see the sights and the sounds and to see the crowd. And I have it on good authority that the Buccaneers have slightly taken over, parts of Europe and the UK, and so they're ready. They're ready for some pro football. They're ready to see the Buccaneers. They're ready to see the GOAT. They're ready to see this team that seems to have a bit of a pulse going on after that big win last week. Okay, so let's start with that, right? Before we get into what's going on tomorrow, obviously the Bucs. Big win last week. Humongous win against the defending Super Bowl champions. Late win. Tom Brady-esque. Vintage Tom, if you will. And he just gets into... Even you guys ever watch Star Wars? I'm a big nerd, right? So I love Star Wars. So you guys seen the end of Rogue One when Vader gets to the not Yavin, but it's not Yavin. Why did I say that? The Tantive 4, I think it is called. And you see the hull just crack, open up, you hear his breathing, lightsaber turns on, and yeah, everybody starts firing, but everybody knows what happens next. They have no chance. And that was Tom. You guys look in his eyes, you look at how he's, maniacally and methodically and just without empathy walking down the field against a team, again, who just won the Super Bowl. I don't care what their record says, okay? If you just won a Super Bowl, that means you were it. Okay, and you beat us to get there. So I want to enjoy this one as much as I can. I'm very proud of my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm very proud of the defense, okay, which played tremendous and was able to do a number. Cooper Kupp, dude, you messed up, obviously. There's no other way to say it. Not sure what you were thinking. You got to get that first down. Sliding short shouldn't have been in your mind, but thank you. We will take it. We appreciate it. And on the other hand, again, Tom, with the yellow-eyed Vader look in his face, it was beautiful. And then baby Gronk. Jeez, I can't English today. I apologize, guys. But Cade Otton, okay, came up big over the middle with a tremendous catch to help open up the safeties. And once the safeties got opened up, then you hit the sidelines, right, because the defenders are playing off the ball. And that's exactly what happened. Scotty Miller started to show how clutch he was, dropped a touchdown in the back of the end zone. I don't know why he dropped. He should have just extended his arms and trusted himself. But, hey, I get it. These things happen. I was very happy to see his production up until that point, and even still, appreciate everything that he's done. And of course, Mike Evans, big body, going across the middle. Defender has to hold on. He can't guard him one-on-one. I mean, nobody can. So that's neither here or there. Good job, Mike, on the PI. And after that, you can pretty much just you could call a game with Cade Otton on that one. So with 9 seconds to go, the walk off, the stare, the touchdown, the catch, you call it whatever you want to call it, but it was all beautiful. It was all what you love to see. Real quick on other breaking news. It may not be breaking news, but I have it on good authority that the Gators just scored again, so they should be up 31-6. Go Gators. Good job, guys. Keep up the good work. Now back to the Buccaneers, of course. There are a couple of things that need to be addressed here, okay? Because as good as that win was, it was tremendous. I can't help but think how many points we've left off the board, and how many of these games that we've lost. Now, I'm not looking in the past. I'm strictly looking in the future, but that requires us to learn from our past. And the first thing we have to learn from are these drop passes, okay? Our receivers are some of the best receivers in the league, and yet it seems like there's something going on, okay? Now, I'm not going to say there's grease on the football or anything like that, but you get what I mean. It's weird. It's uncharacteristic, and it's very unsettling to see these pro ballers drop passes, and obviously perennial pro ballers, whatever you want to call them. Mike, of course, is one. So 22, I believe it is. It's either 22 or 23 drop passes this season, which leads the NFL most. And that's a horrible stat to lead the NFL in, don't you think, guys? We got to hold on to this ball. Got to help Tom out, all right? Some of these passes are first downs and touchdowns that we're dropping, okay? No bueno, okay? No bueno at all. Like, you just can't do that. You get paid to catch the ball. Got to catch the ball. I understand a lot of work goes into it. I understand there's a lot going on. But, guys, it's no different than me doing my job at work. We got to zero in. right? We got to be focused, and we got to make sure that we're on our P's and Q's. When we make mistakes, it's okay. We got to go out and just make the next 3 plays, right? And remember we used to live by that the year we won the Super Bowl. We need to find that Buccaneer attitude again and establish it. All right, so we could do that right here against the Seahawks at the 500. They're 6-3. They're playing behind good quarterback play. Obviously, have a couple of good receivers there as well, and the defense has been able to hold teams at bay for the most part. Let's hope that the Bucs can just kind of ignore that and go straight for the jugular, right? Let's see if we can just establish control early and maintain that against a team that is historically gone to war with the Bucs. These two teams always seem to play each other pretty hard, no matter which team is the quote-unquote better team or who is favored. It's always a good, entertaining game, and I hope to see another one tomorrow, especially in Munich, Germany, which is, again, a beautiful place. Can't wait to see what happens next. With that being said, defense, just continue to tackle effectively, and we have to create more turnovers. I believe that's a big deal. Obviously, we are tenacious, but we need to have tenacity when attacking the ball. All right, so that's the big thing there. For those who don't know, and for all intents and purposes, that game will be played tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Okay, so remember it's in Germany, so for us it's 9:30 a.m. So early game if you guys are wanting to catch it. Okay. So last thing is, obviously, there was some very sad news. I don't want to harp on this, but I do just want to say prayers out to Devin White. I believe he lost his father earlier this week, and that's a horrific thing. I love my father very, very much, and I couldn't imagine what that is like. So thoughts and prayers out to him. I hope that he'll be able to just cope with this in a time it's really rough, as I can't imagine what's going through his head, especially with things going on right now, the way they are with the team traveling overseas. I just want him to be happy and to to be able to come out of this and be able to remember his father for the time that he had him, and it's a tough thing, guys. I truly couldn't imagine. And so with that, my prayers, my thoughts are out to him. And that's all I can really say on that. Let's go ahead and move on to the next part, and that would be the Miami Dolphins. So, Dolphins are they're 6-3 right now. They're playing pretty decent football behind Tua. When Tua is healthy, of course, they can protect him. There's not much that team can't do. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Protect Tua, Project Tua, and it seems to be working out pretty well. All right. So next up, Browns team, 3-5 team. Not much to say about that team, unfortunately. Stop the run. You want to make it simple? Stop the run. If you can do that, you win the game. Simple. Don't know how easy to dress it up for you. All right, Miami, you guys have been tremendous on defense, been tremendous on offense. Continue to just play as hard as you've been playing. Protect Tua. Let him work his magic. One of the best wide receiver combos, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Obviously, Mike Gesicki is a Penn State guy. I love my Nittany Lions. So, I knew that guy was going to be great in college, and it's finally shown that he can, he belongs on a team with such good receiving and, in general, just a great offense like this. So, it's tremendous to see what's going on there in Miami. Keep it up. Can't say how impressed I am with this team, especially knowing where that team has been for the last 20 years or so. So, good job. Texans are up next. Should be a gimme game. Texans decide to show up when they decide to show up. Any other game, they just probably run around like a chicken head cut off type thing. Your third place in the NFC East, all right, guys? So it's not a long third place, all right? You're, a game back, I think it is, or something like that. Keep playing good football. Just keep playing good football, and you never know what happens down at the end. It could be 3 of you guys making it to the playoffs, and that means you have, a 30% chance of running into another team for the third time that year. So, hey, you never know. You really, really never know, guys. Just keep playing good football, and we'll see what happens next. I can't say the same for the next team that we have to talk about, the Jaguars. Unfortunately, the Jags are sitting at 3-6. I thought that they were going to be the best team in the AFC South. Unfortunately, it's the Titans. I said that last week, and unfortunately, the Jags keep shooting themselves in the foot. Can't seem to figure out who they are on offense. Can't seem to figure out who they are on defense as far as who their superstars are and how to apply them to make plays. This is a team that has a lot of resources, a lot of depth, but there's just so many issues that just continue to arise. It seems to be out of thin air for this team. They don't have an easy one coming up next. They're going to see Kansas City, who are sitting at 6-2 and really has the highest odds to win the Super Bowl right now of any team in the NFL, and they're playing like it to begin with. There's not much you can really say about a game like this, guys. Y'all want to shock the world? Beat Kansas City. What's the alternate? Y'all lose, get destroyed, get blown out. That's not what you want to do. How do you stop Patty Mahomes? Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. Don't watch the Super Bowl, because that was an injured Patty Mahomes that had a Tyreek Hill. This offense is different. He lost Tyreek Hill, but he has more weapons. It's weird. He just got Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney went to the University of Florida. I watched him as a freshman convert from a quarterback to a wide receiver. Let me tell you something. This guy, for those who don't know who Tyreek Hill is, he has one of the nastiest tapes, okay, in college football history. Promise you. And I mean, like, you got to watch the whole thing, okay, because it spans over three and a half years, almost 4 years that he was there. And let me tell you something. It's nasty. It's absolutely disgusting. This guy does not have a ceiling, okay? So, I can't wait to see. This is the team that I wanted to see him in when he's coming out of college. I talk to my dad about these things all the time. And I say, Dad, I think if he goes to the Kansas City Chiefs, that they would just be on a different level, because that guy in space is ridiculous, okay? It's not safe. It's nuclear. So congratulations to Kadarius. I'm happy that he's with the Chiefs. Again, that's who I wanted with him this entire time. Can't wait to see what they're able to produce. Unfortunately, that means that the Jags are going to have to get a piece of that. And, guys, you might need to ring for help on this one, okay? You might need to ring for help. Might got to call a friend. Might have to call in a favor. Whatever it takes. Bottom line being, if you guys are going to have to stop, or if you guys are going to stop, the Chiefs, you're going to have to control time possession. You're going to have to control the ball. You're going to have to create turnovers, and you're going to have to keep Patty from beating you with his legs, okay? And what does that mean? Because he's not necessarily a run-first quarterback, but he uses his legs to set up and extend plays like no other quarterback can, okay? He did it in the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay, and he was doing it what seemed like on one foot with half an offensive line, okay? Imagine what the man can do. No, imagine. The record speaks for itself. I rest my case. Just look at his production since he's joined the league. You take away that Super Bowl game, and the man has been virtually Superman, okay? It's ridiculous. Don't let him beat you with his legs. Keep him in the pocket. Force him to make bad decisions or throw the ball away. That's your best bet at beating Patty. Period. The end. That's the only way it happens. Unfortunately, do I see that happening? No, not necessarily. So the idea here is to fake it till you make it, all right? So dress up the play calls. Pull out your best Sunday, vest, and just do whatever you guys can. But again, the recipe to beat him, all right, you can't let him beat you with the legs. All right, you can't let him get in your mind, get in the back of your head, and start playing you like a fiddle, because that's what he'll do, and he's a wizard at it, and he's a baby. Okay, so guys, that's it for the Jags. Good luck to you guys. Again, you guys play at 1 tomorrow. You're third in the AFC South. Could be second. Not sure what's going to happen. You guys got to put some wins together. Got to develop some confidence. Beating the Chiefs would be probably the best thing you could do for yourself right now. So, there's got to be some. Hopefully, you guys have some plays hidden away that you haven't showed anybody this year. Something to shock the Chiefs. Period. The end. And that's the best I have for you guys. Let's go ahead and take this last break. And after that, we'll go ahead and get into some hockey, some NBA, and we'll touch on a little bit of what's going on in the UFC tonight, just because, again, it's going to be a great card. So we'll go ahead and touch a little bit of that once we come back from this last break. All right, you guys. Again, my name is Corey Pujols. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Palm Tree Sports, brought to you by iSports Radio, your direct feed for all the sports. Sit tight with me, guys. We'll be right back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy Lentarius Locke.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That give you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Alrighty, guys, we're back to Palm Tree Sports, hosted by yours truly, Corey Pujols. It's brought to you by Sports Radio. As you guys know, your direct feed for all that is sports. And let's go ahead and jump into this hockey part real quick. Obviously, this is not going to be a real fun part to report. We've been down 2 games recently. This last game was not a very good game. I caught a little bit of it. You could say I passed it. Obviously, it was kind of uncomfortable watching my team perform the way that they did. Very uninspiring game. Very unenthusiastic. There was very low energy, very low effort. It seemed like there was a fight that broke out, indicating some frustration. Of course, there's frustration when you're a team who has just been to, been to the Stanley Cup for the last 3 years, and now it just seems like things are disintegrating. Well, I have news for us as the Tampa Bay Lightning, guys. Everything can't be the same forever, and as much as I love my team, I knew that at some point, eventually, we would start to take a little bit of a backseat to some other teams, some other younger teams in the league, and other clubs in general who are just performing at a high level. And right now, we're not necessarily doing that. We're sitting at a 7-6-1 record. Nothing special. We just dropped that game to the Capitals yesterday, I believe it was. If I remember correctly, and obviously, it was an ugly 5-1. It wasn't close. It wasn't really a good game to think about. It's not something I really want to talk much about. We got a chance for redemption tomorrow at 7:00 p.m. Against the same team, the Capitals, of course, and hopefully we can put our emotions to the side and handle business, at least inside the ice and, without fault. They're sitting at a 7-7-2 record, so they're nothing special either, but hey, that means that we should, get some payback. And actually avenge that loss because, this is clearly a team that we can beat, a team that we're better than. But again, I think we just had the wrong emotions going on, and we were very ineffective on offense, very unable to get going on defense as well, or shut down anything whatsoever. So we have to be able to create, and that's something that we're going to have to do moving forward, period. The end. There's nothing really else to say about that. It was unfortunate. It was not something that we want to see. So again, hopefully we can move forward from there, and we'll be able to bounce back better than ever. That's really it for hockey, of course. You can't really speak too much more on the fact that it's been just this way the whole season. Win 1, lose 1, win 2, lose 2, lose 2, win 1, blah, 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 blah. You get what I'm saying. So, but moving on to the NBA, there's a little bit more to talk about here with the Heat. All right, so that's the first thing I want to address. The Heat are going to be home against the Hornets. They're 5-7. The Hornets are 3-10. That should be a gimme game. It's tonight at 8 o'clock for those who want to watch it. I'm hoping to see, the team kind of loosen up a little bit, okay? So, after that, though, it's the Suns Monday night, all right, at 7:30. So that's one of the big things that is going to be prominent for the Heat is playing against good teams, right? Because obviously, again, I've said this quite a few times, quite a few weeks in a row, I should say, but this Heat team has plenty of talent on it. The talent's not the question here. Are they playing effective, basketball? Are they getting, to the hole? Are they scoring on scoring opportunities? Or are they turning the ball over too much? All right. Are they forgetting to play defense sometimes? Are they just looking kind of lost at times? Yes. These are all good and bad things that take place in the world of basketball. But when you're the Miami Heat, again, with the amount of talent that you have on the board, the amount of continuity that you have on the board, you guys should be able to run. All right, and run with the best of them. I believe that you guys will get it together, just before the break and start to get on a roll. I wouldn't be surprised if after the break you guys come back as a new team. Now, before that we can get to that point, there is a bit of drama, if you will, down in MIA, and it's in the form of what's going on with the name holders and basically who runs the court as far as not the finance is concerned, but the what do you call that when you are the the face of something, if you will. So it's FTX and its affiliates, of course, is the point that I'm getting. FTX is the one who owns the building, the court that Miami plays in. And they are being terminated. Miami is no longer going to work with them, so they're going to have to find a different name and sponsor for their court, which is something that you think might, you say to yourself, well, what does that have to do with the players? Well, the players play on a team that's owned by somebody. Okay, so I'm not saying that the owner's going to come into the locker room and be like, oh my God, I'm having such a bad day because this happened, and yada, yada, yada. No, but obviously they can see everything we see. If I can see it, they can see it. All right. So I'm pretty sure that may be something that doesn't live in space in their head or anything, but does cross their mind from time to time. Something that they, may be looking forward to or maybe not be looking at in general. But it is something that's going on down in Miami nonetheless, and it's something to we'll have to wait and see how it plays out, of course, because these kind of things don't happen very often. And when they do, it's usually sometimes they're public. Most of the time they're not. You think about different stadiums over the past, and usually it's when you get rid of a stadium, or a court or something like that. I think about back in 2003 when the Bucks played the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. Ronnie Barber had the coast to coast, the pick six of Donovan McNabb, and obviously that was the last game that was played in Veterans Stadium before they tore it down. So that's a perfect example of what I mean there. So we'll see again what happens with Miami, and we'll just have to go from there. That's pretty much all I have for them. Moving on to the Magic, who have some inspiring basketball that's been played recently. Of course, behind their young team. That team is very, very young. I say this all the time, and I say that because it's very nice to see young teams gel. And they seem to be figuring out who they are. They're 4-9 now, getting ready to go up against the Hornets, all right, who the Heat are playing tonight. So the Heat have the Hornets, and then the Hornets travel to Orlando, and they're going, like 4.5 miles separate. For those who don't live in Florida or don't know anything about that distance, I live in Tampa. It's about 3.5 miles from Tampa, or 3.5 hours from Tampa to Miami. It's 1 hour, 1.5 hours, depending on traffic, from Tampa to Orlando. So, you guys can do the math. That's about 5, almost, give or take 6 hours, depending on how bad the traffic is. Now, traffic's been getting worse every year. So, I haven't been to Orlando in a minute. It could be longer. Don't know. Don't quote me on it, but that's the guesstimation. All right, guys, is what we're going to rock with. Again, the Magic, they have the Hornets up next. They just beat the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns are 8-4, so that's a big win for them. It was a 114-97 scamper over them. So congratulations to the Magic for awakening, being one of the better teams in the league, especially one of the teams that are out west, where there's a lot of talent, and they sharpen each other very well. Okay, out there, they really do. So 2-game win streak, got to build on it, continue to build on it. You guys got, like I said, you got the Hornets up next. Hopefully, you guys can win that game, get you a step closer to 500, and you just go from there. You got to keep on building, keep building. It's very, very nice to see these young teams gel again. Like I said, you hardly ever pay attention to a team that doesn't have as many superstars or any superstars on it, quote unquote, like you would, the Milwaukees of the world and the Golden State Warriors of the world and, all those, the Phoenix Suns of the world, So, congratulations to the Magic. Good job, guys. Just keep it up. Keep, just put your head down and keep grinding. That's all I can say. You're doing well. So, that's it for NBA basketball. Of course, only got the 2 teams here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about our little extra subject for tonight, which is the UFC 281 card. Absolutely love UFC mixed martial arts. It's going to be a great card. Got, I believe, it's 2 title fights tonight. Also got a great co-main event between the Diamond, Dustin Poirier, and Michael Chandler. That's going to be a great match. Real quick, just a couple of thoughts on that. I'm going to go Dustin Poirier because I'm biased. I like Dustin Poirier as a fighter. He's a great fighter. I like who he is outside the cage as well. So I can't wait to see that fight. It's going to be a great fight. Obviously, you got Carla Esparza and Zhang Weili. When she's not fighting Rose Namajunas, I am a Zhang Weili fan. So I hope, I think her nickname is Mulan. I can't remember exactly for sure, but if it's not, she does remind me of Mulan. I hope that she can get it done. I am a fan of hers, as I said. So, hopefully she can get it done there in that co-main event, but title fight. And then at the end, for those who have followed true martial arts for a while, which means not just UFC, but kickboxing and all of that, means you would have seen it, or at least come across, Izzy versus Israel Adesanya, right, versus Alex Pineda or Pereira, however you want to say his name. Alex won both those fights before. Unfortunately, for those who, if you only go off to the records, you didn't actually watch the fight. If you watch the first fight, Alex kind of lies and says the fight is the same on both sides. That it could have gone either way. That's incorrect. Izzy did win the fight. He landed more significant strikes. He was, pressuring Alex much, much more. Alex couldn't get a rhythm about himself in that fight, and the few times that he did, it wasn't anything for Izzy to be concerned about, and he was able to impose his will. The second fight, if you watch it, Izzy's doing a pretty good job. Things are pretty much the same as the first fight. Izzy's doing a really good job. And then after a while, you can see Izzy just, I don't know if he's getting frustrated or if he thinks he just has the match in the bag, whereas he, in that young mindset, right, to go, he has the fight in the bag and he doesn't. He starts parrying the right hand, and when that happens, you're subject to the left hook. So that's just, it's basic boxing 101. But again, when you're in the sauce, right, obviously it's a little bit easier to see it that way. And obviously Izzy admitted to the mistake and understands it. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, there's this feeling inside my gut. I believe it's inside my gut. All right, don't take me for 100%. It feels, I don't get butterflies too often, and I don't have butterflies about this, which usually means it's from my gut. Izzy's gonna win this fight by stoppage in the third round or before the third round, okay? I understand that Alex is a monster, but nobody has known this better than Izzy. And for somebody like Izzy, I've seen fighters like this, okay? Alex Volkanovski did it to my guy, okay? The Hawaiian, what's his name? I just had it in my head and it disappeared off my dome. But, Alex Volkanovski did that in his recent title defense where he just went into a different gear against Max Holloway, okay? And it wasn't fair because Max is one of the best fighters in the UFC, of the UFC's history. So that's a perfect example of what I mean. John Jones did this, of course, pretty much every fight. He would get in there with a former champion or just somebody that you think, oh my God, this is going to be the guy. And no, Shogun, okay, Quinn Rampage Jackson, just all these guys who came and fell. So I'm hoping that that's also going to be the case. Obviously, Alex comes in very heavy. He's a big guy. He basically could be fighting at 205. Why he doesn't, I don't know. I don't know. But hey, whatever. Like I said, I have Izzy by stoppage in the third round. I think he's going to put on a show. I think he's going to show us something that we've never seen before. And I think it's going to be a very entertaining fight. And I hope that's how it goes, of course. If Alex wins, hey, Alex wins. Congratulations to him in the event. But I'm going to rock here with Izzy. It's going to be a great card, guys. If you guys are going to check it out, it's going to be on ESPN, of course. Thank you guys for joining me. All right, on this episode of Palm Tree Sports, again, we got to cover everything going on in Florida as far as the sports are concerned and touch a little bit on the UFC, what's going on tonight. It's been a great day for sports in general, and it's going to be another great day for sports in the NFL tomorrow and NBA as well. So you guys get ready for that. And I hope to see you there. Hit me up on Twitter at Corey Pujols. I'm always there talking sports. I'm always there talking Bucks, Gators, everything. You name it, and we'll get into it. Thank you guys again. My name was Corey Pujols, of course, your host for Palm Tree Sports, brought to you by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all the sports. We'll see you next week, guys. Same time, same place. Thank you, and God bless.